Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is the Raptor, and I am finally on screen again. I can actually see all of you guys. Wow, Michael, you have seen better days. Today we're doing another Q&A. Thank you so much to all of my Discord members who submitted questions, and everyone else who's watching can do the same by joining with the link below. I love doing these videos whenever I get the chance, and there are more Q&As in my playlist that you can check out if you want. But for now, we can see what you guys want to know today. Let's go. What's an underrated character you want to see on Death Battle? I'm gonna answer this question in two ways. First, by saying a character that I think is underrated by the general public, and then saying a character that's underrated in the versus sense, meaning no one here really talks about them. I think Vision is a really slept on character in the comics. The MCU hasn't really done him amazingly, but he's got some really cool abilities and stories, and has at least a couple good matchups. But from a versus perspective specifically, you guys know it's Spock for me. Literally the most iconic character from the most iconic Western sci-fi franchise should be present in these discussions, and he's basically not. Granted, this may stem from the fact that he doesn't really have any good opponents from what I've seen, but that doesn't mean I don't wish things were different. I guess if anything, it shows how unique of a character he is, and that's pretty cool. If you could be transported to one fictional world and become the strongest in that world, what would you choose? I like this version of that old question because you don't have to limit yourself to what you think your normal self could survive. However, it's still going to revolve more around the setting than necessarily combat for me, and with that in mind, I think I gotta go with Star Wars. If you have the strongest force abilities, nothing gets past you. You are at the top of your game mentally and physically, you get a lightsaber and so many cool powers, and the setting is so big that I don't even need to put myself in harm's way. I could travel to a distant planet and just live normally, except with a lot of cool force abilities, and if a threat does come my way, I'm the strongest. I can just deal with it. This is the kind of question where my answer could change tomorrow, but as a top of the head thing, that's my answer. What are your favorite memories you've had in this community? For individual moments, I don't think anything tops the 2-week spotlight on Stitch vs. Rocket. My hype was building up more and more, and it was quite literally the thing I wanted most from the series. Definitely makes for a great memory. There are also other moments like hitting various subscriber counts and releasing certain videos, but a lot of the best stuff to me is the overarching stuff. I am super grateful for the people I've met online, the fun I've had in my Discord server and other servers, the collaborations I've been a part of, all of that stuff. As easy as it is to criticize this community, it's the good people that make this a good place to be. You guys know who you are, and I thank you for that. Is there a Death Battle episode you hated at first, but grew to like or appreciate over time? This is a tough one, because while my opinions on episodes can change sometimes, they usually don't change by that big of a degree, and I'd rarely say that I hate a certain episode anyway. I guess Shadow vs. Ryuko is kind of an example of this. It was mainly the matchup and community response that made me not like it, and it's not an amazing episode, but over time I've grown to appreciate it for what it does right. Magneto vs. Tetsuo had a similar increase. I never hated it, but I actually like it a lot now. I have essentially no issues with the production or the matchup itself now that time has passed. It's weird how perspectives can change like that. And other than those, I guess I can technically throw in Ben 10 vs. Green Lantern, because I certainly appreciate it a little more now than I did back then. And now let's move on to a few quicker questions that didn't really warrant a larger response, but I felt like answering anyway. First up, how are you? I'm not bad, thanks for asking. I got up a little earlier to work on this video. Again, it's the first time I have the webcam out in a while, and generally speaking, I am stressed about a lot of things, but it could certainly be worse. I hope you're doing fine as well. What are the chances of Ash Ketchum winning a future Death Battle? I personally believe it's most likely that Ash would fight Yugi if he came to the show, and probably that he would lose that fight too, although of course Death Battle may not come to that conclusion, or Ash may fight someone else and win that fight. We really have no idea. But in terms of likelihood, that's what I would say. Are joke questions allowed? No, absolutely not. This is not the place for jokes. This is a Christian channel. Why won't the voices go away? The voices go away once you've done everything that they want you to do. Like in my case, it took me 3 years and a lot of fake identities, but they have finally started making slightly fewer demands. I recommend you do the same. What's your biggest hot take revolving around verses? Most of my unpopular opinions actually revolve around the general attitude of this community. So to list off the main ones, it's not cool or better to just prioritize speaking out your negative opinions over your positive ones. Basically, nothing in this community's discussions is objective, and it's extra annoying that those who believe otherwise also tend to be the people who think they're always right. And similarly, I don't care who hears this, you are not always smarter than Death Battle, even if you really think that you are. Just gonna leave it at that. And for the general community question that I've chosen based on what I get asked a lot, today we have, when is Death Battle gonna come back? This is by far the most common question that I have been getting on my channel, even though I don't work for Death Battle, and you're much more likely to hear something first from the crew than you are from me. So obviously I don't know, but I figured I would use this opportunity to kind of check in with you guys about this and give my personal thoughts on what may or may not be happening right now. So it goes without saying that we still don't know that much in terms of specifics yet. The most we've gotten is a short update video made by the Death Battle crew, which involved Chad James's cat. And I saw a lot of people get really mad at this update, basically saying that it didn't say anything of value, which was just not true at all, because for those of you who don't understand the severity of this event that's been happening, we did not always know that Death Battle was gonna keep going. Like, it wasn't necessarily just gonna be a delay in season 11, like it could have been a complete series cancellation. And there are gonna be some people who are like, oh no, I always knew that it was gonna keep going. No, you didn't. Even if you happen to be right, it doesn't mean that you always knew what was gonna happen. Nothing was known for certain at the beginning. This update was basically saying that it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, that Death Battle is going to continue, which is a great sign. That is a really, really, really good first step, if you ask me. And I know that having more information is still better than not having more information, but Death Battle literally can't say either what they're not allowed to say legally, or they can't say what they don't know. Like, that's just the reality of it. And to add on to that a bit, I can't say that I've been overly pleased with how some people have been acting in this situation. Like, there are really only two types of comments that I get these days that really get on my nerves. The first one is when there are people that comment something on one of my videos or posts that has absolutely nothing to do with said video or said post, and that happens way more than it should if you ask me. But in this case, more importantly, the second one that really gets on my nerves is when people say things like, okay, I'm tired of this, I'm running out of patience, why the hell don't we have more Death Battle? Which is just... Assuming that you have a good enough understanding of the situation that's happening, because I assume at this point most people have a good enough understanding, then this not only comes off as really willfully ignorant, but also a little insensitive, because you're caring more about the content that you personally consume as opposed to the well-beings of the people who need to make this content to make a living, you know, the Death Battle crew. This is still affecting them way more than it's affecting anyone else, and I think we need to remind ourselves of that. And it seems like some people are coming in with this unconscious mindset of Death Battle can't be gone for this long because it can't be gone for this long, and I don't want it to be gone for this long. Like, I want Death Battle back too, guys, okay? Like, I absolutely do. I love the show so much. I would give anything to have it back. But Death Battle is gonna come back as soon as it can, even if it takes a long time to do so. That's still gonna be as soon as it can. Death Battle is not just dicking around or not releasing anything for zero reason. But anyway, now to answer the actual question to the best of my ability. Like I said, I don't know anything, but the way I see it, there are two main ways that things could be unfolding behind the scenes right now. The first way, and in my opinion the more preferable way, is that Death Battle has already found a home, like they already know what company they're going to be under going forward, or at least for the time being, you know, who knows, and they're just waiting to reveal anything until they've made enough progress on their content so that they can more or less resume business as usual. Like, they've made enough headway on enough of the episodes, etc., so that they can swing right back into action, and it won't be like a huge wait time that they reveal to us after they say, yep, we're coming back. I think that is the more preferable option, to be honest, and if that is what's going to happen, then I could see Death Battle coming back, honestly, relatively soon, like within the next 1 or 2 or so months, who knows, but somewhere within that time frame. That's just a guess. However, the second idea that I've kind of conjured up in my head lines up a lot more with what the Death Battle crew has been actively telling us. That being that they are going to give us more information as soon as they have it, or as soon as they can tell us. Which, of course, in this case, means that no finalization has been made yet, because obviously we don't have more information, or at least not more information in terms of specifics. So if this is the case, it means that they most definitely still have a lot of work to do on the actual Death Battle episodes, because they need to focus all of their time in making sure they can even still make Death Battle, of course. So, if this is true, I could see the start of Season 11 being pushed way later in 2024, and even that is just a vague estimate based on what I assume they have to do, because they still have to do a lot of stuff, let alone try to make sure Death Battle can continue in the first place. And I know that that may physically pain some people to hear, I don't really like saying it, but if you came into this thinking that Death Battle would definitely be back by this point, I'm sorry, but you're kidding yourself. This was never the kind of thing that was going to be over quickly. I think the moral of the story is that we still just have to support the Death Battle crew. We can't pretend like we know what's going on behind the scenes, because we just don't. The best we can do is still support everybody, not complain about Death Battle not falling into your lap tomorrow, and just hope for the best. Hope until there's a reason to not hope. That's what I'm gonna do, at least. But I think that's gonna do it for today. Thank you all so much for watching, and join the Discord in the description if you have any questions for potential future videos, or if you just want to hang out. Either way, if you made it this far, I appreciate you so much. I am excited for Death Battle's return, just like you guys are, whenever that may be. Have a great day, and peace out.